It's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Mariam Longe. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Today, I would just like to do a shout out to, some of our viewers who have been particularly kind to me concerning my book donations. I still have people who are saying, I'm interested in making sure that kids get your books, and underprivileged children who are unable to afford it can get your books, and I'm still getting donations, and I want to say thank you so very much for your kindness, and that hopefully, this kindness will be paid forward. These children would, have their minds open, understand more about environment, and many other things. So thank you so much. And also those that just keep sending gifts.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
We also thank you. Well done. Well done. I didn't, Elijah. You didn't want to work, you come to work. You just stayed home. Using the Ramadan to Kewo.
An unusual Ramadan this year. I'm grateful to God. It's an experience. Sadly, it cost me about 15 days of Ramadan. I felt ill. I couldn't fast. I felt dizzy. I felt like everything was just, and shortness of breath in between. So I had to stop fasting. It was forced at a particular day. I marked the date. And we've been in and out of hospital, but we're doing good now. I'm grateful to God.
Right.
And hey, in my usual Your View spirit, I want to beg the people in Alimosho. When it is raining, it's not time for you to dump your waste in the drains. I was appalled, as in, I felt like infuriated to see people rushing out in the heavy rains and pouring their waste in the drains. They will now be shouting, flood is our look, come. People in Ejigbo, you can do better. No. And it's one local government that should not even have risked it. If people in Apapa are trying rubbish, it's not you people that should be trying it, because you don't have.
We need more cameras, street cameras. You know how abroad where you can actually monitor who does what, so you can know who this person throws trash, and then what that our local clinic will go and arrest them.
Then Loma should do more sensitization. I think they've gone quiet over time. Tell these people that the drains don't take your waste anyway. It clogs it and returns flood to you.
Yeah.
Those areas get flooded. You start hearing people shouting. I don't know how it makes sense, and then maybe we should do more to collect the waste.
Honestly, we need, we absolutely have more sensitization and then more technology application to really help Nigerians to be law-abiding. How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good.
I always like this dress on you.
Yeah,
I never noticed it. It's pretty.
My second time wearing it, and I really do like it as well. And it's very fitted, so it reminds me of when I'm added weight or when I'm losing weight. But I'm really impatient to see results on my weight loss journey. And when I'm to remind me, when you were piling on the weight, you were not in a hurry to see the result of weight gain.
But you're looking good. I mean, you're much better. Your arms have really disappeared.
Yeah, no, that's usually quick to go, But business has been I did business encouragement. It's just been a very, very. I like being positive. I'm the affirmation person, so I've been walking around my house and speaking to myself, encouraging myself, and it's. That constant journey of I have to keep my spirit up is a lot of work. So I just feel like somebody should come and tell me, you'll be fine. Somebody should be giving me the encouragement, but I can't wait until someone encourages me. So I have to force myself to keep encouraging myself.
I always ask that of people who are always on the up and up. I'm like, how do you do that? What happens when
I was telling my husband that I pray for him. I thought he would be happy that, I'm praying for you. He said, use your prayer of wisdom and the prayer of God change his anger. Please, I need prayer for money. Ask God, this money I need. I need the prayer for God change his heart, change him, make me a quieter person, calm spirit. Other God give him wisdom. That's what the prayer I want to. That one I pray for. God give him money.
Now, this social media on Instagram, I said, if I say I'm not feeling fine, the only sickness is money. Just give me money. There's nothing else.
All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. We will deliver on renewed hope agenda, Tinubu affirms. Igbo leaders urge Nwanyawu-led Ohaneze to align with Tinubu. 2,800 Nigerians expected today from Sudan. AKK pipeline to boost power with 3,600 megawatts. How APC will zone Senate House top posts. And why we are embracing private partners by NDDC and Lagos to roll out blueprints on transportation. Okay, so we're starting with?
I will start with the 2,800 Nigerians expected today from Sudan. So our National Emergency Management Agency, that's NEMA, yesterday, first of all said that we have the first batch of 2,800 stranded Nigerians. They include embassy staff and their families and also students. They also mentioned that Air Peace, the owner, had volunteered to help evacuate for free Nigerian citizens in Sudan. But NEMA says that they are going the road. He said that they have about 5,000 Nigerians altogether in Sudan that they would like to evacuate, but the first batch would be about that 2,800. They said the reason he was asked the reason why it's taking a bit of time. He says that because you need to get information that it's an internal crisis. You don't want to set off and then we have casualties. They're trying to be very careful and security conscious. I think they've just been given a sort of leeway right now. They'll get buses, but they are not going to have too many buses as well, because you need to have a certain number of buses that you can keep an eye on during the evacuation. So they said they are doing their best to make sure that they bring back Nigerians home safe, but it's mainly by road. And I'd heard, not confirmed sources, but I'd heard that when the U.S. evacuated their own embassy staff and families, over 100 of them, their plane came under a lot of fire. So I know that it's quite dangerous right now, the airspace.
Yeah, I followed the story in Sudan. Sadly, they are burning airplanes, even in the hangars at the airport, just to prove a point. So it's not, I think it's the best decision they've taken.
So the commission, okay, you have a story? Go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to take the AKK pipeline to boost power with 3,600 megawatts. The group general, the GMD of NNPCL, Mele Kyari, was speaking in Kogi State yesterday, and he mentioned that they're looking at pumping 2.5 billion naira dollars into the AKK gas pipeline project that will be completed, that hopefully will be completed by September. And that project is the Ajakuta-Kaduna-Kano pipeline. And they're looking at it boosting, adding 3,600 megawatts to the already existing. So for Abuja, for instance, there's a 1,350 megawatts power plant that will be supported. There's the 900 megawatt power plant in Kaduna that would also be supported by this 3,000 additional. And there's the 1,350 megawatts in Kano that, this would also boost. They're looking at it boosting industrial activity around the area and so much more that, they're hoping will bring. And they said that the capacity will transport 2 billion standard cubic feet of natural gas daily to this power plant. I'm hoping that they do it because I have been suffering since September last year. Terrible power supply. And we just found out that TCN has not been giving enough allocation to the DISCO to distribute. What they give is what the DISCO just flash. And that's what we've been coping with. I hope that with these areas, they can then focus on here as well.
So the Commissioner for Transportation, Lagos State, Dr. Oladende, will be making a presentation to the Lagos State Governor and other ESCOs this morning concerning the much-awaited policy and transportation policy. According to the report from the Nation, it's that the policy appraises what is there, what the government is doing, and where the government is going concerning transportation. The policy as a document addresses transportation holistically, looking at the roads, the rail, the air, the waterways, and the pipeline. And its intention is to intention on intermodal means of transportation. It addresses what manner of vehicles should be on the roads, waterways, and professionalizes the sector. So that's a lot of good news for Nigerians, especially because once the document is signed off, it then becomes the Bible somewhat of transportation in Lagos State, and then everything will then follow suit afterwards. But it's part of the governor's themes agenda, and he'll be presented this morning. Hopefully there'll be no objections to the policy, and once it's passed on, and then we'll have a proper transportation policy within Lagos State. That's good news for many, those of us hoping that things that when it comes to transportation, things that is done properly and it's professionalized.
So everybody has a lot of people have been waiting for how APC intends to zone the Senate, and they have given a bit of clarity on what they are thinking. So the Senate President and House of Rep, according to them, will be zoned based on 3 factors. We learned yesterday that they were waiting for the President-elect to come back from his 34-day vacation in France after he won the election, and now that he's back, they are going to have a conversation with him, and then they are breaking down what they are considering in terms of who would be the head of the Senate as well as House of Rep. So they said the 3 things they are considering. One is the voting pattern of the region. I really want to understand what they meant by that. Number one was religion. Number 1 was religion. Number 2 was voting pattern, and number 3 is political base of the aspirant. He said there's an expectation even from people that are not in the National Assembly of the kind of person they want at that position, and so the person must have a political base, and then there must be a voting pattern. And then
said this voting pattern 3 times.
Because I was trying to understand what they meant by voting pattern. I don't want to be I don't want to believe what I'm thinking.
Politics will come into play. Politics happen, politics will come.
It's not corporate Nigeria.
Politicians will be rewarded or not rewarded.
Let's not even move on because it's politics. It's a totally different ball game. Let's move on to Daily Sun. Usmani Yara opens up on Tinubu, Alpha Conde, and Guinea. Government kills 7 in Plateau as herdsmen militia kill 4 mourners and 4 mourners in Benue. Enugu Governor-elect Mba names Chioke Abba Unya enables 60 others for transition committee. Petrol price increased by 42% later in 1 year, says NBS. Governors hold valedictory meeting for 17 outgoing members. Nigeria's telephone users hit 222.5 million. And Tinubu returns after 34 days abroad. Okay.
Let me start with the phone users. So, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, we have 222.6 million telephone subscribers in Nigeria at the end of 2022. And they said that this showed a figure of about 2.1 million subscribers growth from last year's projections. And they distributed it along subscribers for data, subscribers for voice calls, and all of that. And Lagos State has the highest number of active telephone users that year at 26.5 million, followed by Ogun and then Kano. And the lowest, they took a briefing of all the states down to Bayelsa, who has the lowest, that one has 1.1 million internet users and subscribers across. So that's a figure showing. I'm wondering if they say we are about 200 million people and there are 2 points. That means
some people have more than
one line. Yeah. So
all right, let's go on a quick break. We're going to come back and continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail, or maybe mocktail. we need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome pioneer positive force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni Yeni Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger,
Take it.
today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you.
Are you sure?
I'm not here to answer questions. I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
Eh?
I said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75.
I call
Fellas wasn't even born till 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Russian.
No be half. I try.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint.
Lights in no. Nepa Road. Nepa Road in Abeokuta.
First of all, my brain cannot memorize everything.
A big black bug.
A big black dog.
A big black bug.
Oh, sorry. A big.
It don't start.
Ọmọ ọmọ fẹlá ọmọ Anikulapo Kuti. Wọ́n rò pé kí ni kékeré yìí.
It's by Audison. It's not by Audison.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs,
Thanks for staying with us. So if you recall the controversy over the president-elect's citizenship of Guinea, so Usman Yara has opened up. He was the third man in the video he had opened up on exactly what the meeting was about. According to him, the president-elect had hosted the former President Condé of Guinea in Nigeria, after which he then went to visit him in this country. Then he was invited specially during his re-election, and he didn't come alone. He came with a bunch of businessmen to help them to put together an economic direction for Guinea, and that was what made the presidency at the time give him the special envoy as a citizen, because For them, he saw Asiwaju then as an Africanist, somebody who was a lion of Africa, who has helped many African countries to be able to set up their country in economic direction. So he was in celebration of that, of who Asiwaju was to him. He had offered him a special envoy, it's called. So one of Tinubu's aides, who was also there, has acknowledged, trying to get the name of the person. So President Conde had given a special envoy status. Conde recognized Tinubu as a Pan-Africanist and saw him as a special envoy, and that's why that citizenship was given to him. So it wasn't as if he had some kind of naturalization as a citizen of Guinea. It was given to him by the president, and then Yari himself put a call through to the former president in his video, just to show evidence, to call the president that did you or did you not give the president-elect? He acknowledged that yes, he saw him as somebody who was special, who has helped many African countries, especially in getting policies that the countries are usually currently using, and that's why he felt there was a lion of Africa and he deserved to be given that honorary citizenship. Okay, moving on.
I want to take the story about petrol price increase. So between last year and this year, that's March 2022 to March 2023, petrol prices have increased by 42.63%. In the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics gave report of the price across Nigeria just March 2023, and Imo paid the highest. Imo paid 332 naira per litre, followed by Taraba State that paid 330 per litre, and Borno State that paid 324 naira per litre. Most of the southeast paid a lot. They said the southeastern part recorded the highest average price in March, which is about 306, but some parts of the country recorded the lowest, such as Benue. Benue paid 195, the lowest, followed by Plateau that paid 196, and Nasarawa that paid 197. It's just a report to see how the prices of petrol has consistently been rising month on month within the country.
Yeah, I have a sad story coming from Plateau State. I didn't even hear this until this morning when I read the paper. It says that no fewer than 7 people were killed on Sunday at about 10 p.m. He said that these bandits, or suspected to be headsmen, attacked these communities and left many people injured, and of course the residents apprehensive. He said 2 people were killed in Wereng and 1 in Kwi villages in Riyom local government areas, and we also have 4 people were killed in Heipan communities in Barkin Ladi as well. The paper says as of the time of the report, they haven't been able to speak to the police public relations officer, to hear from him. But the publicity secretary of the Youth Molders Association confirmed the killings. And another sad event happened in Benue State as well. They said this group of mourners, 4 of them were killed, were ambushed by suspected headsman militia, and they were killed.
Moving on now to Vanguard. Sean rumors I'm strong, Tinubu says on arrival from France. Enugu Governor-elect Mba names Chioke Abba others in transition committee. Abducted Kogi monarch dies in kidnapper's den. Again, court dashes Nigerian heirs hope of flying. Headers out to take over farmland, says Ondo farmers. Electricity, new bill in House of Reps threatens 10 billion naira investment. 40% pay rise, varsity workers on warpath with FG over exclusion. And I have no reason to rest because of election, says Peter Obi.
Okay, I have the Kogi story, and so sad. The traditional ruler of the Agara community in Kababonu local government area of Kogi State was abducted. His name was Chief David Obadofi. He was abducted on Easter Monday along with his co-abductee, Temidayo Elewa. And from the time he was abducted till 12 days till when he passed in the abductor's custody, his health continued to deteriorate, and they were asking for 60 million naira ransom. When they saw his health deteriorating, they dropped it to 2 million, and while in negotiations with family members, he died. Of course, he had underlying health issues because of age and all of that, and they continued to do the back and forth with him. And after he died, they released this co-abductee who had to trek for hours in the bush till, she was able to get to help, and somebody was able to get her to freedom. She's presently in the hospital being treated, and she was the one who gave an account. In between, when he was sick, they also separated the two of them so that, you know, they could continue negotiation. Maybe I was just thinking if they had left them, maybe it would have helped the traditional ruler, but he died in detention of the kidnappers, and now I don't know, the story did not say whether his body had been recovered, but they've confirmed that he died. I'm just hoping that Kogi has strong rules of death in kidnappers' custody, which makes it a major death sentence offense. Yes.
Okay, so those of us waiting for the Nigeria air to take off, because remember, we actually promised that it will take off before May 29. Sadly, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has asked the DG of the NCAA, that's the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, to halt the issuance of the air operator certificate to the proposed carrier. If you recall, Air Peace, Max Air, United Nigeria Airlines, and Top Brass Aviation Limited had taken the Minister of Aviation to court, and also the Ethiopian Airlines to court to stop them from that airline from flying. According to the motion, they said that they are prayed that the court to get an interim injunction restraining the defendants, that's the carriers, either by themselves or the agencies, that's the Ministry of Aviation, from getting the approval to pending the determination of the motion of notice. So unfortunately, because maybe the May 29th may not be able to be a deadline right now because of this court injunction. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Any other story in Vanguard? Let's move on quickly.
No, let me take the story of pay rise. So we know that the federal government has already approved 40% increase in salaries for civil servants in federal ministries, agencies, departments, MDAs under the consolidated public salary structure. However, the university lecturers are kicking that they were not included in the package and this cannot stand. The government has said that they included the university lecturers. They are just waiting for ASU to conclude its negotiations with the collective bargaining agreement on the conditions of service of employment with the Ministry of Education, so that the 40% pay rise is not excluding university lecturers, but they just need the university lecturers to finish the previous issues that they are still deliberating on, and after that is done, then this can be discussed.
Okay, final paper, the Nigerian Tribune, National Assembly leadership zoning on the cards as Tinubu returns. Panic in Abuja as communal clash claims won. Youth bury man alive in Benue over claim he used thunder to kill his own son. Accident claims won. Lasma arrests victim with over 100 used children diapers. Kogi monarch dies in kidnappers' den. NNPCL projects 3,650 megawatts from Ajaokuta Kaduna Kanu gas pipeline project. Please, this thunder story, who has it?
I have it. Do you? Okay. Okay, so, and sadly, the state police public relations officer in Benue State has confirmed that this incident happened. So, according to the report, youths of Ikive village in Konisha local government area of the state claim that a light rain that rained over that period of time led to thunderstorm that struck a man, his wife, and their child, and they died. And so they claim that the man's father, one Henry, was behind it. So they led the youth of the village to his house and met himself and one elderly man. And the next thing, they beat and buried them alive as having caused the thunderstorm. And the community leader that reported it, Baba Agan, he said that before the police could get to them, they were done with this act. I hope that since
is this illiteracy or what? Because even Lagos State was telling us the number, thousands of lightning that was going to happen in Lagos. Millions of lightning will happen in Lagos. So there's information that these things are natural disasters or natural occurrences. That somebody will not say it is what.
There's recent information. I remember growing up and they said that it was a consequence of act done. So somebody can be in the farm hit by thunderstorm. They'll say it's the consequence of what he did. Growing up, that I heard from home, from my village. But
people forgot the cows that went to go and graze somewhere, and
they said it was.
Yes,
that's our belief system.
Okay, that is all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what...
Now it's time to build the future. I am the future. I am the future. You are the future. You are the future. We are the future. With Interlude, we build the future. Come and build your future. In London Park and Gardens. Come and build your future. In Emirates Park and Gardens. Come and build your future. In Paris Park and Gardens. Come and build your future. In Paris.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur. Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be. Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women.
Thanks for staying with us. So today our first conversation is what we discussed yesterday, the Nigerian students that were stranded in Sudan due to the ongoing crisis. However, the federal government said they were going to evacuate stranded Nigerian students from Sudan today. Joining us on the show is the Chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abikedabiri Erewa, to give us an update on the evacuation. Whilst we're trying to get her connected, let me come to you, Mariam, because I know you read the story earlier. So just give us a quick update that you had.
This is based on a TV interview with the DG for NEMA, and he has said that we have about 5,000 Nigerians that we need to evacuate from Sudan, but they're going to do it in batches, and the first batch will be about 2,800 Nigerians, and they include the embassy staff, their families, and students. He was asked why, we're not using the airspace airlines, because we have the owner of Airpeace who has volunteered to evacuate Nigerians for free as part of his, patriotism. And they said that right now it's best to do it by road, and so they're getting buses, but they're not going to get enough buses. They're not getting buses to evacuate all 5,000, because you also need to keep it at a size that it can manage, security-wise. They don't want to have any casualties, and they had to wait until now, for the green light to go. He also responded to the question on the Nigeria. I think we've seen some of the videos, Nigerians who self-evacuated and got to the Ethiopian border, and they said that the federal government and then the embassy in Khartoum, Sudan, is speaking with the Ethiopian counterpart, and it looks like very soon they'll allow Nigerians to pass through the border. But for the rest of them, hopefully we'll see evacuations happen today.
Have you had any stories, because I know that you've followed that
I've
story.
been following up. Actually, I followed up the unrest and how they were attacking the buildings in Khartoum, and how it all started, where we have two factions now, one loyal to former president, the other one, the civilian group. They both ousted him as a military head. They wanted to install a democratic rule, but we've missed the story, because I was shocked to see that they are now both fighting for supremacy of, the state, and then destroying. It was that one that broke my heart. The thing brought back NSAS. I know Nigerians are sensitive about NSAS, but we had heard news about an hijacking of that, lawful and laudable protests that started here. Some people were going to hijack it, and see what an hijacking resulted to in Sudan. What started, honestly, you remember the picture of the girl pointing to the boots? That was how it all started, that, this must stop, we need to remove our military head, and now look at where they are down the line. So when Nigerians are saying to, don't put this country on fire, let's not set this country on fire, when we talk, it seems like, no, you don't believe in our agitations, and so we can do better. And so we are just a lucky nation that we're not where they are in Sudan. Right now, even the civilians are asking the military to come back, so that there will be peace. There will be, nobody wants war. We don't want to.
I'm told our guest is here. Good morning, madam. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good to have you on with us. We just wanted to get an update from you as regards the evacuation. We read in the papers about 2,800 expected in Nigeria today. Tell us how that's going.
So let me correct that impression first, because I think it was the headline of The Nation. Not today. Okay. The students are expected to leave the base in Khartoum to now drive to Cairo, and we're looking at the borders in Cairo, Luxor, and Aswan. That takes about 28 hours. The journey in itself that takes over a day. But they haven't even left Khartoum. The buses were coming later. Initially, they said morning, now afternoon. Because sometimes you pay for these buses, they don't show up on time. So the process starts today, but that doesn't mean they will arrive today. So they're still going to have a long trip. And that's why the mission and the ministry has said we have to ensure that as they take that journey, they must have security with them. So the process starts today, but they are not arriving in Nigeria today, except, of course, if they get there within in less than 24 hours,
right,
and then get on the plane and start coming.
All right. Okay, so there's we hear that this is going to be done in batches. So the 2,800 is the first batch. Where are the others staying? Those who have been left behind.
No, all the students are. Some found their way to Ethiopia, but those who found their way to Ethiopia are now heading back to Cairo, because Cairo is easier for everybody. But there's a press statement that came out, which I sent to your producer, with contact numbers. There's a joint statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Humanitarian Affairs, so it has some information there. There's a contact person or their contact numbers from the mission. And I like our students, they're very organized. They have an association where they disseminate information. So the information goes to the president, disseminates to all of them. So they're all gathered at a location now in Khartoum, waiting for the buses to come. So once the buses come, they now take that journey to Aswan and Luxor in Cairo. Okay. That is but however, at this point in time, communication has been disrupted, internet services are not working, the phone lines are not quite connected, but they all gathered at a location with officials of the Nigerian mission. And some are still coming, they are still moving.
Right. Okay, so there's a concern that many Nigerians have, especially for those that can't get in touch with their family members, and would like to hear from you. Have there been any casualties or fatalities involving Nigerians? Are we sure that all our citizens have been safe so far, especially the students?
To God be the glory, none at this point in time. And we pray and hope it remains so. None at this point in time. And the thing is that we said we wanted a safe corridor. Now, we would have had an issue when the students, out of anxiety, said, listen, all of you get together, you're going to pay $100, we're going to get you in a box. If they had gone on that journey, it would have been deadly. But the mission came in and said, then you can't do that. We'll take care of you. And that has been done. So they went back to their campuses, and now they're being called again. So we're just hoping that in a few hours, the buses, now they requested for 40 buses. I'm not sure they'll get the whole 40 at the same time, but a number of buses will line up to take it. So we thank God, we give him the glory that at this point in time, and by the grace of God, nothing will happen to any of our students. And I also want to correct one notion before I forget. I've read about, there's a crisis, federal government set up a committee. No. After the Ukraine, when the Ukraine crisis broke out, the chief of staff, Professor Gambari, actually came up with this idea that the committee that worked there should remain a standing committee. So you have a committee chaired by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. They're made up of NEMA, NIDCOM, Immigration, NIA, NSS Office, and all that. That would be like a standing committee for evacuation, but especially when it involves matters outside the country. So it's not as if a committee was set up, there's a crisis. No, it's been there. It's just that it needs to be strengthened and maybe ensure that there's some funds available so that in times of crisis, you take the immediate steps. So just to correct that error about the committee.
I must say well done to this committee. And I'm just wondering right now, how is it easy for you to talk? Which of the factions are you talking to have, this safe trip into Cairo?
The minister had to talk to both factions. And that's why when people say, it's not fast enough, it's a very complicated process. The Minister of Foreign Affairs first had to call the Sudanese ambassador and had to get the contact of the two factions. So you can't talk to one person. So after talking to both of them, you have to secure the assurances that, listen, Nigerians will be moving and we want them protected. So in those buses, there must be security conveying them. And that's why it's not advisable that you move on your own. Some British, Qatari, even French nationals tried to leave 2 days ago. They were almost killed and they turned back. So Mr. Oyema has spoken to both sides of the divide to get the clearance. And then again, there's a 72-hour ceasefire.
So let me be sure.
So we're also in that window.
Let me be sure that we're very clear, because you said earlier that they ordered for 40 buses, and there's a possibility that not all 40 buses can leave at the same time, because the Nigerians can begin to complain that some people are left behind, others are not coming on. So are you saying that just in case we don't have 40 buses, the others will leave very soon, or how soon do you expect other buses just in case the 40 doesn't arrive?
They will not leave. Nobody will be left behind.
Okay.
And that is why when people say, oh, America did this, we cannot take 50 people and say, oh, we're evacuating our mission staff and leaving 5,000 students behind. Although we have 5,500, but on the list now, I think they're barely about 2,000 something. That I think, don't let me play with figures. So nobody will be left behind. That will not happen.
Okay.
If there are more buses that are needed, they provide more buses. But for now, that's the calculation of the number of buses they need.
Right.
But I think let them start moving, even if it's in batches. But definitely nobody will be left behind.
All right, let me go on a very quick break. We'll come back. We have a few more questions for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Why is this place not smelling nice? Find me a solution quickly.
Madam.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Because we there, if you not jam person go jam you.
You know, every time you open that your stupid mouth, you show exactly what you know. What?
You are drunk. Jesus! You can't defend your wife anymore now, Julius.
Right.
None of this is his fault.
What's going on?
I can't explain, just come.
We are the Durojais.
We are the Akbans. We are the Obioras. Thanks for staying with us. We still have our guest with us, the chairman of NIDCOM, Honorable Abikedabri Erewa. Miriam had a question for you.
So I have a question concerning those who self-evacuated, Nigerian students who got to Ethiopia, and we heard that they were refused entrance. And it got us worried, and we're thinking, does it have anything to do with, Nigerians being picked on? You remember the case in Ukraine where black students were not allowed to, join some buses and things like that. So is that the case, or what exactly is the case?
No, what happened was, well, at least we have documented 7 Nigerian students, including the lady who did a video about getting to the Ethiopian border. And the mission was contacted, and immediately the mission got in touch with the Ethiopian authorities to let them know, because you see, you just go to a border and you think they just open up for you. When even those at the border, they don't even know maybe there's a war going on anywhere. But the mission intervened, and those 7 students are somewhere around some borders there. They're already inside Ethiopia. And then the Nigerian mission have intimated the Ethiopian authorities, and they even requested to be at the borders. But Ethiopia said no. And that's because they have the Tigray crisis.
Exactly.
I hope you know they're getting out of the crisis themselves.
Yes.
Virtually a war in Ethiopia themselves. Yes. And they are at the verge of trying to resolve it. So I think they're being extra careful of who is coming in.
Yes.
And at what.
Right.
So, but we have that relationship with Ethiopia, and the mission has handled that. But now these students, and the lady said, oh, and what about thousands that are coming? They are going to Cairo now, because the mission will convey them en masse, rather than have them individually get into trouble. Now, those that were heading to the Ethiopian border are now heading to Aswan and Luxor in Cairo, in Egypt.
So when they get,
that's the situation.
When they get to Cairo, how long are they going to take before they come home? Because many of them are hoping, family members are hoping to see them soon. So how long do they get to stay in Cairo before they come home? And how many airlines do we expect to bring them home?
Well, NEMA is working on that out. The National Emergency Management Agency, the DG of NEMA is speaking in Cairo, and we're speaking about an hour. But first, let's even get them out of Khartoum.
Yes.
Okay.
So they are taking off. So we're waiting. Let's take it one step after the other. Let's get them out of that dangerous spot. Get them into Cairo. Then look at the numbers. As you have said, FP said what it's going to offer its services. Military planes are also on standby. Some of the military planes can be used to. So let's even get them out of Khartoum in the first place. And we must do that within these 3 days.
Okay, so I wanted to ask concerning family members. So many of these people are students, so obviously their parents are here in Nigeria. Is there any hotline they can call to get in touch with the committee that is overseeing the process of evacuating, so that they can get a peace, that have peace in them, especially since the students are not even readily accessible because internet has been shut down and they might not be able to reach them on phone?
And like I said, I've just posted a press statement from the 2 ministries, Foreign Affairs and Humanitarian Affairs. There are about 4 or 5 contact details of officials that can be contacted. I just put it on my Twitter handle now, and I've sent a copy to you. Maybe if you
we have it. We have it.
We'll have it. Yes. So there are phone numbers to call provided by the Nigerian mission in Sudan, and all our missions are working on this. The Nigerian mission in Sudan, the Nigerian mission in Egypt, the Nigerian mission in Ethiopia. So we have all hands on deck, and even the Nigerian mission in Chad, because Chad is also a closed area. So in case of, as we say in KCT, Chad is also on standby.
Right. Okay.
So numbers are there, and communicating with parents here. A lot of parents have bombarded my phone. I've had to be replying messages. giving them assurances. And like I said, the good thing about our students in Sudan is that they have a very strong NANS association. So a message to the president gets to all. Okay. And parents are also, there's also a doctor that has also been helping. I can't remember his name, it's also on my phone. So for parent care, they've been reaching out to me and I've been giving them assurances and updating them. They even have more information now than even you may have. So we're communicating with parents. And for more parents, you can also get in touch with the Nigerian Diaspora Commission. Email us at admin@income.gov.ng. All our details are there. We've set up a little chatbot for parents who want to get more information. Right. So we're there. We'll give.
Let me get a few more questions for you.
Most importantly, of the mission numbers are there.
Go ahead.
NANS had organized, we heard that NANS had organized this evacuation process where they were charging $100